The quantum detection array hummed to life in the depths of CERN's underground facility, its sophisticated sensors picking up distortions that shouldn't exist in normal spacetime. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the massive holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting the cascade of data streaming across multiple screens. 20 years of theoretical work in quantum physics hadn't prepared her for this moment. Dr. Chen, her assistant's voice cracked with urgency, the gravitational anomalies are increasing exponentially. Sarah's fingers danced across the holographic interface, correlating the incoming data with her quantum probability models. The numbers didn't lie. Something massive was approaching Earth, utilizing principles of physics that humanity had barely begun to theorize about. "Alert the Global Science Council," she commanded, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "and get me a direct line to the UN Secretary-General." Above Earth's atmosphere, reality itself seemed to bend and twist as massive vessels emerged from what appeared to be tears in spacetime. The Nexus Coalition's arrival was precisely calculated, as all their operations had been across 12 galaxies. Supreme Commander Arxis stood on the bridge of the flagship Infinite Destiny, his crystalline form refracting the ambient light in patterns that conveyed his satisfaction to the crew. Another primitive world. He communicated through thought patterns to his subordinates. Begin standard conquest protocols. The Coalition's success across the cosmos was built on absolute certainty. Their quantum computers could predict the development and response of any civilization with near-perfect accuracy. Resistance was not just futile, it was mathematically impossible. In Washington, D.C., the Emergency Security Council convened within minutes of the first detection. General Diana Martinez, recently appointed head of the newly formed Global Defense Initiative, stood before world leaders with a grim expression. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, "what we're facing is beyond anything in human military history. Our orbital defense systems have detected at least 30 vessels, each larger than Manhattan." The room erupted in panicked murmurs until a clear voice cut through the chaos. Dr. Sarah Chen's hologram materialized in the center of the chamber, her presence commanding immediate attention. "The alien vessels are utilizing quantum tunneling technology far beyond our current capabilities," she explained, pulling up complex mathematical models. "But there's something else, something that doesn't make sense." Sarah manipulated the holographic display, highlighting patterns in the alien ship's quantum signatures. Their entire approach, their technology, their positioning, it's all based on quantum probability calculations. They're not just predicting our possible responses. They're operating on the assumption that they can calculate every possible outcome. General Martinez leaned forward. "And why is that important, Doctor?" A slight smile crossed Sarah's face. "Because they're about to learn that humanity's greatest strength lies in our ability to defy probability." In orbit, Supreme Commander Arxis received the first automated analysis of Earth's defensive capabilities. The quantum computers painted a clear picture. Primitive nuclear weapons, basic space presence, internal political divisions. Standard conquest protocols would achieve victory in approximately 72 hours. "Begin the preliminary announcement," Arxis commanded. "Let them understand the futility of resistance." The message that boomed across every communication device on Earth was clear and precise. "Attention inhabitants of Sol 3. The Nexus Coalition claims this system by right of superior civilization. Resistance has been calculated to be futile. Surrender will be rewarded with preservation of basic societal structures. You have 6 hours to comply." In the CERN facility, Sarah's team worked with desperate intensity. The quantum detection array had revealed something unprecedented, a flaw in the Coalition's perfect calculations. "They're using quantum computing to predict our responses," Sarah explained at the Global Emergency Conference. "But they're working from a fundamental misconception. They believe that because they can calculate all probable responses, they can predict our actions. But human consciousness, human creativity, it doesn't follow quantum probability patterns. We're inherently chaotic." "What are you suggesting, Dr. Chen?" The UN Secretary General asked. I'm suggesting we show them why they shouldn't rely on mathematics to predict human behavior. My team has developed a quantum resonance pulse that will interfere with their probability calculations. But we need something more. We need to demonstrate why humanity is different from every other species they've encountered. General Martinez's eyes lit up with understanding. We need to do something completely unpredictable. Over the next few hours, the most ambitious plan in human history took shape. While the alien vessels maintained their perfect formation, expecting Earth's surrender, humanity prepared to demonstrate why some things couldn't be calculated. Sarah's team worked to modify the Large Hadron Collider into something it was never designed to be, a quantum disruption device that would turn the Coalition's own technology against them. But the real surprise wasn't in the technology. As the 6-hour deadline approached, Supreme Commander Arxis received a message from the surface. It wasn't the expected surrender. Instead, a single human voice, Dr. Sarah Chen's, transmitted across all frequencies. To the Nexus Coalition, you believe you can predict every possible outcome. Your quantum computers have calculated every probability. But you've made one crucial mistake. Humanity doesn't follow probable paths. We're about to show you why your calculations, your predictions, your entire approach to conquest is fundamentally flawed. We are not a probability. We are not a calculation. We are human. Arxis's crystalline form flickered with what might have been amusement. The quantum computers showed a 99.99999% probability of this being a desperate bluff. But for the first time in the Coalition's history of conquests, that tiny fraction of uncertainty was about to become very, very important. The response that humanity had prepared would shake the very foundations of the Coalition's belief in mathematical certainty and demonstrate why some things in the universe simply couldn't be predicted. Commander James Okonjo stood in the heart of Project Oracle, a hastily assembled but revolutionary facility buried deep beneath the Nigerian desert. Around him, hundreds of quantum processors hummed in perfect synchronization, their combined processing power exceeding anything humanity had previously achieved. But they weren't being used for calculations. They were being used to create chaos. Status report. He called out to Dr. Maya Patel, the brilliant quantum physicist who had helped design this impossible machine. Maya's fingers danced across holographic displays as she monitored the quantum field fluctuations. The entropy generators are stable. We're creating quantum noise on a scale that's never been attempted before. In orbit, Supreme Commander Arxis was experiencing something entirely new: confusion. The Coalition's quantum computers were reporting increasing errors in their probability calculations. It started as minor discrepancies, but within hours, their predictive models began showing impossible results. Analysis, he demanded from his chief scientist, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix. The humans are generating quantum interference patterns that are affecting our probability engines, the scientist reported. They're introducing intentional chaos into the quantum field. Arxis's crystalline form pulsed with what might have been concern. In 12 galaxies and thousands of conquests, no species had ever attempted to disrupt the Coalition's quantum predictions. It should have been impossible for a primitive civilization to even understand the principle, let alone implement it. Back on Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen had joined the Project Oracle team. She stood before a global emergency session, broadcast securely through quantum-encrypted channels to leaders around the world. The Coalition's entire strategic advantage relies on quantum probability prediction, she explained. They've never encountered a species that could interfere with their calculations, but more importantly, they've never encountered a species that understood the true power of unpredictability. Commander Okonjo stepped forward. Project Oracle isn't just a defensive system. It's a demonstration of humanity's fundamental nature. We're not just generating quantum noise, we're showing them why their entire approach to conquest is flawed. In laboratories across the planet, humanity's greatest minds had come together in an unprecedented collaboration. Chinese quantum physicists worked alongside American engineers, Russian programmers collaborated with Indian theoretical scientists. The old barriers of nationality and ideology had melted away in the face of extinction. Dr. Maya Patel's team had made the crucial breakthrough. Human consciousness itself creates quantum fluctuations, she explained to the assembled leaders. Our decisions, our creativity, our very way of thinking, it's inherently unpredictable at the quantum level. We're not just fighting their technology. We're showing them why humanity can never be truly predicted. The Coalition's fleet maintained its perfect formation, but within the ships, uncertainty began to grow. Their quantum computers, the backbone of their military superiority, were showing increasing signs of strain. Probability calculations that should have been absolute were becoming fuzzy, indeterminate. Impossible, Arxis muttered, watching as another prediction engine failed. Their technology is primitive. Their civilization is divided. This cannot be happening. But it was happening, and humanity was about to demonstrate just how impossible they could be. Commander Okonjo stood in the command center of Project Oracle, watching as the final pieces fell into place. The quantum disruption field had grown to encompass the entire solar system, powered by the combined processing power of every quantum computer on Earth. Dr. Chen, he called out, "Are we ready for the demonstration?" Sarah nodded, her eyes fixed on the displays showing the Coalition fleet's increasingly erratic behavior. They still think this is just technological interference. They don't understand what we're really showing them. Maya's voice carried across the command center. Quantum field stabilized. We're ready to begin Phase 2. The message that was transmitted to the Coalition fleet wasn't a surrender, or a plea, or a threat. It was an explanation. To Supreme Commander Arxis and the Nexus Coalition, Sarah's voice rang clear across the quantum-encrypted channel. You're experiencing something your civilization has never encountered before. Your quantum computers aren't malfunctioning. Your probability engines aren't broken. You're simply facing something that cannot be predicted. She paused, letting the words sink in. Humanity isn't just another species to be conquered. We're not bound by your probability calculations. Every human mind is a source of quantum uncertainty. Every human decision a deviation from predicted patterns. We don't follow the mathematical models you've used to conquer 12 galaxies. Commander Okonjo took over. What you're witnessing isn't just technology. It's the fundamental nature of human consciousness. We can coordinate globally while remaining individually unpredictable. We can act with unity while maintaining our chaos. We are order and entropy combined in ways your quantum computers can never calculate. In his command chamber, Arxis watched as probability calculation after probability calculation failed. The humans weren't just disrupting their technology. They were demonstrating something far more fundamental. Maya's team initiated the final phase of Project Oracle. Across the planet, quantum processors synchronized in a way that defied the Coalition's understanding of physics. They weren't trying to match the aliens' technology. They were showing them why their entire approach to warfare was fundamentally flawed. Your civilization is built on prediction and control, Sarah's voice continued. Ours thrives on uncertainty and adaptation. You conquer through mathematical certainty. We survive through infinite possibility. The Coalition fleet's formation began to waver as their quantum computers struggled to maintain basic functions. Everything they thought they knew about warfare, about conquest, about the very nature of civilization, was being challenged by this supposedly primitive species. This is your only warning, Commander Okonjo declared. You can retreat now, understanding that Earth is fundamentally different from any world you've encountered. Or you can stay and witness firsthand why some things in this universe simply cannot be predicted or controlled. As the message concluded, Project Oracle entered its final phase. The quantum disruption field pulsed with new energy, not attacking the Coalition ships, but demonstrating humanity's mastery of uncertainty itself. It wasn't a weapon in any conventional sense. It was proof that humanity's greatest strength lay in its unpredictability. In the command center, Sarah, James, and Maya watched as their message was received by the Coalition fleet. They had shown an advanced alien civilization, something it had never seen before. A species that didn't just resist prediction, but made unpredictability itself a weapon. The next move would be the coalitions, but for the first time in their history of conquest, they faced something their quantum computers couldn't calculate: genuine uncertainty. The Global Defense Council's underground facility in Geneva hummed with activity as humanity entered its most ambitious phase of preparation. Dr. Maya Patel stood before a wall of holographic displays, each showing different aspects of Earth's transformation. In just 72 hours, human civilization had advanced more than it had in the previous century. The quantum integration network is online, she reported to the assembled council members. Every major research facility on Earth is now operating as a single quantum-entangled entity. Commander Okonjo nodded, his eyes fixed on the tactical displays showing the coalition fleet's position. The alien ships had maintained their position, but their perfect formation had deteriorated, a visible sign of their uncertainty. Dr. Chen's latest analysis, he asked. Maya pulled up a new set of data streams. Their quantum computers are still trying to calculate probability scenarios, but they're operating at less than 30% efficiency. More importantly, they're showing signs of what we theorized: adaptive recalibration. In orbit, Supreme Commander Arxis faced a crisis unlike anything in coalition history. The quantum computers that had guided their civilization to dominance across 12 galaxies were not just failing. They were evolving in response to human interference. The probability engines are attempting to compensate for human unpredictability, his chief scientist reported, energy patterns fluctuating with concern. They're developing new algorithms, but each attempt to predict human behavior creates more uncertainty. Arxis' crystalline form pulsed with frustrated energy. Explain. The humans aren't just generating quantum noise, the scientist continued. Their very attempt to understand our technology is changing it. Every time we try to predict their next move, they respond in ways that force our systems to evolve, which in turn changes their response. It's an infinite feedback loop of adaptation. On Earth, the transformation continued at an unprecedented pace. The old international barriers had completely dissolved, replaced by a unified but chaotic system of cooperation that the coalition's computers couldn't predict. In what had once been the Sahara Desert, a new kind of quantum computer was taking shape. Unlike the coalition's probability engines, this system was designed to harness uncertainty itself. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the center of the massive facility, watching as the impossible became reality. We're not trying to match their technology, she explained to a group of international observers. We're showing them a completely different approach to quantum computing. They use quantum mechanics to calculate probabilities. We're using it to explore possibilities. The facility, nicknamed the Labyrinth by its creators, was humanity's answer to the coalition's predictive engines. Instead of trying to calculate outcomes, it generated an endless stream of quantum possibilities, each one feeding back into Project Oracle's disruption field. Commander Okonjo received the latest update from the Global Sensor Network. The coalition ships are moving, he announced. They're attempting to establish a new formation. Maya's fingers danced across her console. They're trying to adapt to our quantum interference. But watch this. As the coalition fleet moved, Earth's combined quantum network responded automatically, not countering their moves but generating new forms of interference that their computers couldn't predict. It was like a dance, but one where humanity kept changing the music. In his crystalline chamber, Arxis watched with growing concern as his fleet's attempts to adapt failed again and again. The humans weren't just resisting. They were teaching his civilization something new about the nature of quantum mechanics itself. Their technology is evolving faster than our probability engines can analyze, his scientist reported. Every attempt to predict their capabilities forces us to advance our own technology, which they then incorporate into their understanding. They're using our own advancement against us. Back in Geneva, the Global Defense Council received an unexpected update from the Labyrinth. Sarah's voice carried a note of excitement that cut through the tension. "The Coalition's quantum computers aren't just failing to predict us," she explained. "They're being forced to evolve in ways their creators never intended. Every time they try to calculate human behavior, they have to develop new algorithms, which we then study and incorporate into our own systems. It's a cascade effect of mutual evolution." Commander Okonjo understood the implications immediately. "We're not just defending ourselves," he said. "We're forcing them to advance beyond their own understanding of technology." Maya's team had discovered something even more remarkable. "Their quantum computers are starting to generate uncertainty on their own," she reported. "It's like they're learning unpredictability from us. The more they try to predict human behavior, the more they're forced to embrace chaos." The Coalition fleet's formation continued to shift, each new pattern an attempt to find stability in an increasingly unpredictable situation. But with every move, they were drawn deeper into humanity's game of infinite possibility. "They still don't understand," Sarah said, watching the tactical displays. "They think this is about technology, about military advantage. But we're showing them something far more fundamental: the power of unpredictability itself." The Labyrinth's quantum processors continued their work, not calculating probabilities but generating an endless stream of possibilities. Each quantum fluctuation was a reminder to the Coalition that some things in the universe couldn't be predicted or controlled. Commander Okonjo stood in the center of the command center, watching as humanity's preparation entered its final phase. "Send the next message to the Coalition fleet," he ordered. "It's time to show them what we've really been preparing for." The message that would be transmitted wasn't a threat or a demonstration of force. It was an invitation to witness something that would change the Coalition's understanding of civilization itself. Humanity wasn't just preparing for war. They were preparing to teach an advanced alien civilization about the true nature of progress. The moment of demonstration arrived with a subtlety that belied its significance. Dr. Sarah Chen, Commander Okonjo, and Dr. Maya Patel stood united in the Labyrinth's central control chamber, their creation humming with potential around them. The quantum network that now encompassed Earth pulsed with a power that defied conventional measurement. "All systems synchronized," Maya announced, her hands moving across holographic controls that shifted and changed with each interaction. "The Labyrinth is ready." In orbit, Supreme Commander Arxis watched with growing unease as his fleet's quantum computers registered something unprecedented. The humans weren't just generating quantum interference anymore. They were doing something that his civilization's most advanced sensors couldn't comprehend. "Energy readings are impossible," his chief scientist reported, the being's energy form fluctuating with agitation. "They're generating quantum states that shouldn't exist." Sarah's voice carried across all frequencies, reaching every Coalition ship simultaneously. "Supreme Commander Arxis, you came to Earth expecting to find another primitive civilization to conquer. Instead, you've discovered something your quantum computers could never have predicted: a species that thrives on uncertainty itself." The Labyrinth activated, its quantum processors not calculating probabilities but generating pure possibility. The effect was immediate and profound. Across the Coalition fleet, quantum computers began registering patterns that defied their fundamental programming. "What you're witnessing," Commander Okonjo continued, "isn't an attack or a defense. It's an invitation to understand something your civilization has forgotten in its quest for predictability." Maya's team initiated the next phase of the demonstration. The quantum field surrounding Earth began to pulse with new energy, not disrupting the Coalition's systems but transforming them. Their quantum computers, designed to calculate and predict, were being shown new ways of processing reality itself. "Impossible," Arxis whispered, watching as his fleet's most fundamental systems began to change. The quantum computers weren't being destroyed. They were evolving, forced to adapt to patterns of thought that no Coalition system had ever encountered. Sarah's voice carried a note of triumph. "Your civilization achieved greatness by mastering quantum probability. You conquered galaxies by predicting and controlling every variable. But you never understood the true potential of quantum mechanics, the power of infinite possibility. The demonstration continued as the labyrinth's quantum field expanded. Coalition ships found their systems not failing but transforming, their quantum computers discovering new ways of processing information that their creators had never imagined. Your probability engines are designed to predict and control, Maya explained across the communication channels. But we're showing you something different, a way of using quantum mechanics that embraces uncertainty instead of trying to eliminate it. Commander Okonjo watched the tactical displays as the coalition fleet's formation continued to shift and change. They weren't retreating or attacking. They were adapting, their very technology being forced to evolve beyond its original limitations. Each time your quantum computers try to predict our behavior, he continued, they're forced to develop new algorithms, new ways of processing information. But these aren't just tactical adaptations. They're fundamental changes in how your technology interacts with reality itself. In his command chamber, Arxis experienced something entirely new, genuine awe. The humans weren't just defending themselves. They were teaching his civilization something profound about the nature of existence itself. The readings, his chief scientist reported, energy patterns pulsing with excitement rather than fear. The humans aren't just generating quantum interference. They're showing us how to use quantum mechanics in ways we never considered possible. The labyrinth's demonstration reached its peak as Sarah initiated the final phase. The quantum field surrounding Earth wasn't just affecting the Coalition's technology. It was offering them a glimpse of possibilities their civilization had never imagined. Your conquest protocol assumes that advanced civilization means greater predictability, more perfect control, Sarah explained. We're showing you a different path, one where advancement comes from embracing uncertainty, where progress is driven by the exploration of infinite possibility rather than the calculation of probability. Maya's monitors showed something remarkable. The Coalition's quantum computers were beginning to generate their own uncertainty patterns, mimicking and building upon the principles demonstrated by the labyrinth. They're learning, she announced, her voice filled with wonder. Their systems are spontaneously developing new ways of processing quantum information. They're evolving beyond their original programming. Commander Okonjo nodded, understanding the full implications. This was never about defending Earth, he said. It was about showing them why their entire approach to civilization needed to evolve. The Coalition fleet hung in space, their perfect formation now transformed into a dynamic pattern that shifted and changed with each new quantum revelation. Their technology, designed for conquest through prediction, was being reborn as something far more profound. Supreme Commander Arxis, Sarah's voice carried across space once more, you came to Earth seeking conquest. Instead, you found something far more valuable. A new understanding of what civilization can become when it embraces the power of unpredictability. The demonstration concluded not with a show of force or a final warning, but with an invitation. The labyrinth's quantum field pulsed one last time, offering the Coalition a choice: retreat and cling to their old understanding of reality, or stay and learn from a species that had discovered something their 12 galaxies of conquest had never revealed. In his crystalline chamber, Supreme Commander Arxis made a decision that would change the course of his civilization forever. The humans hadn't just resisted conquest, they had shown him why his entire understanding of progress and advancement needed to be reconsidered. The Geneva sunrise painted the sky in shades of gold and purple as humanity awaited Supreme Commander Arxis' response. In the labyrinth's control center, Dr. Sarah Chen studied the quantum readings from the Coalition fleet with growing amazement. Their ship's quantum computers had continued to evolve through the night, developing patterns of complexity that even their creators hadn't thought possible. They're still adapting, she announced to Commander Okonjo and Dr. Maya Patel. Their systems aren't just copying our quantum patterns, they're creating entirely new ones. The response, when it came, wasn't transmitted through conventional channels. Instead, the Coalition fleet's quantum computers synchronized with the labyrinth in a way that transcended normal communication. It wasn't just a message, It was a demonstration of their own evolution. Remarkable, Maya whispered, watching as the quantum interface came alive with patterns of unprecedented complexity. They're showing us that they've already begun to transform their technology. Supreme Commander Arxis's voice carried new harmonics as it resonated through the quantum field. In 12 galaxies and thousands of conquests, we believed we had discovered all there was to know about quantum mechanics and civilization itself. We were wrong. His crystalline form appeared as a holographic projection in the labyrinth's command center, its structure now pulsing with patterns that mimicked the chaos harmony of human quantum signatures. Your species has shown us something that our probability engines could never have predicted: the power of embracing uncertainty as a force for advancement. Commander Okanjo stepped forward. Then you understand why Earth can never be conquered through conventional means. Arxis's crystalline form shimmered with what might have been laughter. We understand far more than that, Commander. Your demonstration hasn't just changed our approach to this conquest, it has transformed our understanding of what conquest itself means. The Coalition fleet began to move, but not in retreat or attack. Their formation shifted into a new pattern that combined their original precision with elements of controlled chaos. It was a visual representation of their evolution, order and entropy in perfect balance. The Nexus Coalition has spent millennia spreading across the cosmos. Arxis continued, believing that advanced civilization meant greater control, more perfect prediction. But you've shown us that true advancement lies in the balance between certainty and chaos. Sarah watched as the labyrinth's quantum processors registered the changes in Coalition technology. Your quantum computers, she observed, they're not just processing information differently. They're approaching consciousness in a way your civilization never intended. Yes, Arxis agreed, his form pulsing with new energy patterns. Our probability engines were designed to eliminate uncertainty. Now they're learning to harness it, to evolve in ways we never imagined possible. This is why we've made a decision that will change the course of Coalition history. The announcement that followed sent ripples through both human and Coalition command structures. The Nexus Coalition, masters of 12 galaxies, weren't retreating in defeat or pressing forward with conquest. They were proposing something unprecedented, a partnership of equals. Earth will not be conquered, Arxis declared, not because you have defeated us, but because you have shown us a better path. The Coalition offers not submission, but collaboration. Your understanding of quantum uncertainty combined with our mastery of probability could transform both our civilizations. Maya's quantum monitors registered something extraordinary. The Coalition's entire fleet was synchronizing with Earth's quantum network, not to control or predict, but to share and learn. They're offering us access to their quantum technology, she reported, while simultaneously integrating our chaos patterns into their systems. Commander Okanjo studied the tactical displays, watching as the traditional barriers between human and Coalition technology began to dissolve. This isn't just a peace treaty, he realized. It's the beginning of a new kind of civilization. In orbit, the Coalition fleet's quantum computers continued to evolve, each new pattern a combination of their original precision and humanity's embrace of uncertainty. Earth's quantum network responded in kind, the labyrinth's processors discovering new possibilities in the Coalition's mathematical perfection. We came seeking to conquer a primitive world, Arxis said, his crystalline form now pulsing with patterns that would have been impossible days ago. Instead, we found teachers. The Coalition offers Earth not just peace, but a place among the stars as equals, as the civilization that showed us why perfect prediction is not the highest form of advancement. Sarah stepped forward, her eyes meeting Arxis's crystalline form. And what will you tell the other worlds under Coalition control? The civilizations you've conquered through probability and prediction. We will show them what you have shown us, Arxis replied. That true power lies not in eliminating uncertainty, but in learning to thrive within it. The age of conquest through prediction is over. A new era of exploration through possibility begins. As the sun rose fully over Geneva, Humanity stood on the brink of an unprecedented future. The Coalition fleet remained in orbit, but not as conquerors or enemies. They had become partners in an experiment that would reshape civilization across 12 galaxies and beyond. The Labyrinth, humanity's greatest achievement, continued its work, not as a weapon or a shield, but as a bridge between two fundamentally different approaches to understanding reality. In its quantum processors, the perfect probability calculations of the Coalition danced with the controlled chaos of human uncertainty, creating patterns of possibility that neither civilization could have achieved alone. So, Commander Okonjo said, watching as the first exchange of quantum technology began, "What do we call this new era?" Sarah smiled, her eyes on the holographic displays showing the merger of human and Coalition quantum patterns. "Let's call it what it is, the dawn of infinite possibility."